Hello, and welcome back to Something Starts Ringing Tarot. My name is Ryan, and as you can tell from the title, today I will be taking you quickly through the 27 decks in my current collection. I'm doing this as a record for myself, as well as to show off my collection, and hopefully you can find a new deck that you like, or just enjoy what I have to show. I have been away from TarotTube for quite a while. I've kind of missed it, but I've also kind of enjoyed the break. So today I felt called to make this video, and so I'm glad to be back, and I hope you enjoy this speedrun collection video. I will have all of the decks linked in the comments if I can find a good link for them. Deck number 1 is the Gold Foil Tarot. This one is a plastic deck. It's all holographic. I've showed it a couple times on my channel, but it's a basic Rider-Waite-Smith deck. It just has full holographic on every card, and it has pretty cool designs. I really like it. It's really easy to shuffle because it's a thin plastic deck. Not too much to say about it because it is Rider-Waite-Smith, but the holographic really stands out. And yeah, so there's a little white book that comes with it, but not too much going on, and then some title cards. So very cool deck to start with and very eye-catchy. Deck number 2 is the Sacred Earth Oracle. It is one of, I believe, 3 Oracle decks that I own. I'm not a huge Oracle person, but I do enjoy the couple that I have, and I need to get back into it a little more. Need to practice Oracle a little more, but these are just very beautiful paintings. Oops. All right, these are very beautiful. I think they're paintings of some sort. I'm not sure on that, but very beautiful artwork, very detailed, very colorful. Really lets you use your intuition and go into the keyword that the Oracle has. Very earth energy, obviously, because it's the Sacred Earth Oracle, but it's just very beautiful, detailed artwork. And the book is really interesting too. It actually, let's see if I can pull up a card here. So let's see if I can get here's a full page. So you have an earthly meaning for each card, a spiritual meaning, and some insight for each card. So it's really easy to read, and it's pretty cool what it has to say. So I like it a lot. I don't pull Oracle too often, but this is a very beautiful deck. Deck number 3 is this interesting little deck. I'm not exactly sure where I got it. I found it online somewhere. I think maybe through Facebook Marketplace or eBay or something secondhand, but it's called the Mysterious Tator, which I think is a misspelling of tarot, but that's what it is on all parts of the deck. So I'm not sure why it's like that, but thought that was very interesting. I got it for like $5, so I just couldn't pass it up. I don't use it really ever because it's just kind of a Rider-Waite-Smith, but these are the backs. It comes with a pretty basic white book, and then it's basically just the Rider-Waite-Smith but borderless. I actually still have it in order. I don't even know if I've ever shuffled it, but it just kind of intrigued me. I'm not sure why it's called the Mysterious Tator, but yep, just a standard Rider-Waite-Smith, so nice to have, but I don't really use it. If anybody has any information on this deck, why it might be called that, or if they found it somewhere, I'm not sure, then let me know. Deck number 4 is the Shadowland Tarot by Monica Badirsky. I really like this tarot. I actually pull it quite often. It has a very large guidebook that is very, very full of information. It has detailed descriptions of the card, keywords, shadow message, a full message paragraph on every card, and then some reflections that you can think about, or journal prompts or something like that. And then I love this spider on the outside of the page. It kind of crawls down as you flip through the book. These cards are definitely geared towards like shadow work or looking at kind of the darker side of tarot. So it's very interesting. I've gone through a couple cards on my channel before, but it's like a sketch drawing of this different world. I really find that even though all these characters are so different and weird, they all do fit in the same world. So it's really cool. I guess that world is called Shadowland. I really like how this deck interprets each of the cards. It's based on the Rider-Waite-Smith, but kind of goes its own way in different interpretations of the Rider-Waite-Smith meanings. So definitely one of my favorites. I'm trying not to like rank these by any means, but this is one that I pull fairly regularly. Deck number 5 is the Star Tarot, and I have the 2nd edition. This was one of the first few decks in my collection, so I've had it a long time. It's a really detailed guidebook. It gives information about tons of symbolism on the card. It gives astrology, element, lunar cycle, season, a lot of different things, and then it goes through like each symbol, like the white eagle throne, the crown, the shield, the 8-pointed star. So it goes through and gives a description of each of those, which is really helpful. This is a... I don't want to struggle with this, but that's what happens. Alright. So I believe this is a Thoth-based deck. I'm just starting my study of Thoth, but I believe this is kind of Thoth and Rider-Waite-Smith mixed. Very detailed, very colorful, lots of symbolism throughout these cards. Definitely incorporates the like cosmos because it's the Star Tarot, and goes through lots of symbolism. Very beautiful deck. Very thought-provoking when you pull cards. I always find it gives very like encouraging messages to me. I don't know if that's just me, but I do like pulling this deck for that reason. Very colorful, some are very Rider-Waite-Smith. This one's very Thoth. So we'll just flip through a few cards here. And these are the backs. Deck number 6 is the Shadowscapes Tarot, by Stephanie Puy-Moon-Law. Again, it has a very nice guidebook, and it has, these almost read as like poems in a way. I think for the major arcana, it has like a little story and then the meaning. This one actually has a ribbon, yay. These are the backs. It is very glossy, but very nice cardstock, very thin, flexible, easy to shuffle. I know this is a very popular deck, but these are very detailed artwork. Very homey, very grounded, but kind of mystical at the same time. Trying to give you a good view of a bunch of cards. Deck number 7 is the StarCodes Astro Oracle. This is also a newer deck in my collection. I haven't used it too much. Again, I don't pull Oracle very often, but I'm kind of into astrology as well, just starting to learn, so I really did like how this book sounded on YouTube when I watched some walkthroughs and reviews, so wanted to check it out. So it has all the elements, it has all of the signs. It has very cool, like geometrical, bold artwork. It has the planets. It has all of the houses. And then it has, where do we get past that? It has different aspects. I'm not going to get into how this is used too much in this video, but it's a pretty cool astrology oracle. The guidebook really goes into reading it as an oracle deck, but you can also use it to study astrology as well. Deck number 8 is the Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle. This is a very interesting deck. It's the last oracle deck in my collection for this video. Again, I don't use oracle very often, but when I do pull this one, it really makes me think. It really dives deep into that like shadowy kind of study. So very beautiful artwork. The people in this are just so expressive. There's 3 keywords under the main title. Very good, very very dynamic cards, I should say. Very thought-provoking. Deck number 9 is the Tarot of the Secret Forest. This was one of the earlier decks in my collection, so you've probably seen it on my channel before, potentially. Comes with a couple title cards and a little white book, and then it has no words on the cards, just images. So this is I believe, the King of Pentacles, if I'm not mistaken. No, the Queen of Pentacles. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. But it has, so this is Judgment. It has the Roman numerals for the majors. This is Death. No, the Devil, sorry. I'm getting all confused today. So it's very earthly, very grounded. It's like a painted deck, it looks like. I'm not sure about that, but very beautiful. But what makes this deck special, I'll kind of go through a few more cards. Very unique deck. What makes this deck special is that it's actually two-sided, so that on the back it has like a sketch drawing, almost like a first draft of the colored side. So it's like a pencil black and white sketch of the actual drawing, which is really interesting. And some of them like lean towards different meanings almost. But it kind of gives a cool, different perspective. Sorry for the glare, but deck number 10 is the Trionfi della Luna Illustrated Pips Italian Text Edition. I believe this is out of print, but I thought I heard that they're making it mass market in the English version, so that's pretty exciting. This is a very devil-heavy deck. There's actually 6 extra devils, which makes this very interesting. It's a very spooky, very creepy kind of world. If you know the Deviant Moon, it's by the same creator as that. Lots of very devilly, creepy looking creatures. It's very Rider-Waite-Smith, so very easy to read. Just a very different style deck, different world. I think I have a pattern in my deck collection that I like different worlds that are created with different intention. Every deck that I have, well, not everyone, but a lot of decks that I have a specific intention behind their art and create a whole world to go around that intention. So this one's a very fun one to pull. It's crazy, it's dark, it's spooky. Like, look at that. That's the Five of Swords, sorry. Very cool deck. Deck number 11 is the Earth Woman Tarot. This is a newer deck in my collection, and I really enjoy it. I picked it up kind of off of a whim. I don't know exactly why I picked it up. I liked the artwork when I saw some walkthroughs on YouTube, but it's kind of a different deck for me. I don't typically deal with the feminine energy in my practice very often, but it's very cool to incorporate that, and this deck specifically talks about in the guidebook, which is pretty good, about how this deck is made to create a link between the earth energy and the spiritual energy. So each card is kind of designed to do that, as you can see with this back. So here are some of the cards. Very beautiful artwork, really stood out to me the first time I saw it. The people in this deck don't have any faces, so I know that kind of turns some people off, but I really enjoy it because then you can just like find yourself in the scene with this character, and you don't get any like preconceived notions about how they're feeling. You can just read into the intuition and kind of fall into the scene yourself. So very beautiful deck, very vibrant colors, lots of feminine energy. The kings are more masculine, but very beautiful energy for every card. Let's see if I can find my favorite card in this deck. Maybe not. Might be the last one. Or did I already pass it? I can't find it right now. I really like the star card, but I can't find it. So that is the Earth Woman Tarot. Deck number 12 in my collection is the Art of Adventure Tarot. This is a very fun deck. One thing I always think about on this deck is that no matter if I don't use it for very often or I pick it up every day, it always welcomes me back like I've never left. So it kind of like accepts me even though I forget about it sometimes. So very unique world again. All the people or alien figures have these like loopy appendages, either arms or legs. Very fun deck. Very Rider-Waite-Smith, but in its own world. There's a lot of symbolism around the cards, even though it's kind of a silly scene. But very easy to read, very fun deck. Makes me smile every time I look at it. Again, very colorful. A lot of the swords have these like cut in half people or people cut apart, which is kind of fun. Very Rider-Waite-Smith, very like modern, easy to read, silly people. Very colorful. I don't know if I showed the sides and the back. Matte blue edging, and here's the back. Deck number 13 in my collection is the Tarot of Oneness. Another beautiful, colorful deck that has a specific intention behind its cards. This one has a great guidebook as well. It shows a color picture and then goes into each symbol that's on the card, or a bunch of the symbols that are on the card, and it does that for major and minor. If you haven't seen this deck, these are the backs. It does have orange matte gilding or orange matte edging, which is very nice. This deck basically puts you in the scene of each Rider-Waite-Smith card, so it's like you are actually from the first person looking at the scene, or in this case like being tempted by the devil straight at you. Ten of Swords, you're like lying on the water or on the beach. Some slightly different interpretations, but it kind of puts you in the scene is very much about this deck. The courts are renamed, so keep that in mind. Very beautiful artwork, really stands out. Hopefully it's focusing well. It does have a couple, this is the Judgment card. It does have a couple extra cards. I don't know if I'll see them yet. Here's the Higher Self card. Very beautiful deck. Again, I say that about a lot of my decks, but I really am drawn to colorful, beautiful artwork. This one just flips the whole tarot on your head and kind of puts you in the scene first person, which really like makes me dive into the meanings more and feel the meanings more. There are two Lovers cards, a more masculine presenting person and a more feminine presenting person, so you can pick or choose. I personally leave them both in the deck. And here's the Temperance card, one of my favorites. It's like you are the angel of the Temperance card. Deck number 14 is the Fyordor Pavlov Tarot. This is the mass market version, but it's like a high quality mass market, if you will. So it actually has a ribbon and a hardcover book. This book is so excellent. It has quick meanings, but also very specific meanings for each card and really goes into the artist's intention behind the deck. It has linen cardstock, which I like very much. It has shiny gold edging. These are the backs with some gold foil stamping. And then these are some of the cards. Each suit has its own color, so it's mostly black and white, but then the wands have this like green color. The majors have different colors throughout. The cups are blue, the pentacles are this like orangish yellow. And let's get a swords card here. That's a beautiful strength card. The swords are red. So they're mostly black and white, but have a pop of color that really makes each card stand out. Just an overall very beautiful deck, very queer deck. There are different presenting people. I'm going to cover it for YouTube, but very gender fluid and different presenting people. I really, really like this deck. It's easy on the hands, it's easy on the eyes, and it reads really, really nicely. It gives me very serious messages, but I really, really like the diversity, the queerness, and the just straightforwardness of this deck. Highly recommended. Deck number 15 of my collection is the Sasuraibito Tarot. This is the 8th printing. There are obviously a few different versions and a few printings of this deck, so you can find on YouTube which one you like the best, or which ones are out of print, or which is the newest one, however you want to do that. It has gold edging. Obviously you can see I've used it a lot, which I love seeing that on the edge of the cards, that the edging is starting to wear off. I've used it so many times. This is the backs. And I actually put this one back in order recently, so I'm going to keep it in order. One of my favorite full cards. Very beautiful deck, very intimate deck, very close up on a lot of scenes. Different interpretations, but easy to read at the same time. Very thought-provoking. I really like this deck. It's been in my collection since pretty much the beginning of my tarot practice, and it calls to me every so often to draw from it. It's not an easy deck, I will say. As you can tell, some of the cards are pretty intense, but it definitely makes you feel the emotions of the tarot and kind of helps you dive into the feelings more than just thinking about everything, which I find myself doing a lot. So this is a very emotional deck, and I really, really enjoy it for that purpose. Very beautiful artwork, as I say with all my decks. Deck number 16 in my collection is the Light Seers Tarot. I'm pretty sure everyone is probably familiar with this, but I will do a quick flip through of it. This was, I believe, the second deck in my collection. It came out mass market right around the time I started tarot, I believe. So I really enjoyed this deck, and I know it was very popular. So yeah, I had to pick it up. Very beautiful, very colorful, very expressive deck. Lots of different ages and different kinds of people. Yeah, very comforting deck. The guidebook is written in a way that makes you kind of go towards the lighter side of tarot, like comforting and self-improvement and motivating. I guess I'll show that in here, but each card at the end has a little summary or a little statement. So for Judgment, it says, "Hello, Essence. I invite you to show up every day. I invite my soul to shine unapologetically." So it's kind of a little statement to leave you with, and just every card has that, and it's so nice and just succinct that you can really think about a reading from that one sentence if you want to. Very colorful deck, very expressive deck, which I'm sure you've probably seen already. Deck number 17 in my collection is the This Might Hurt Tarot deck. This is definitely one of my favorites. I'm sure you've seen it a lot on my channel and maybe on my Instagram. I really enjoy this deck. When I started tarot, this was one I pulled daily for quite a long time, so I'm really familiar with these cards. They really speak to me, really easy to read. Basically a modern, diverse perspective on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Very clear artwork, very easy to read, very expressive, very dynamic. Just an overall well-rounded deck. Gives great readings. I know a lot of people have recommended it. This is actually the indie version, and it has the kind of rainbowy metallic black edging and then the black backs. It is now available mass market, which is awesome. I've considered over and over again getting the mass market as kind of a backup copy for this one, because as you can tell, I've used it quite a bit. The edging's wearing off. But I love this deck. It is so I don't want to say beautiful, but it gives beautiful readings. It gives easy readings. It's a great daily draw. Overall, highly recommended. Great overall deck. The 18th deck in my collection at the moment is my first Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. So this is just the standard yellow box, plaid backgrounds. I shouldn't even pull it out, but plaid backgrounds and classic Pamela Coleman Smith artwork, sorry. So I keep this one in order just for reference and easy reference if I'm looking at another deck and I want to go back and refer to this standard artwork. So everybody knows this one, so I'm going to go pretty quick. The 19th deck in my collection is the Tarot of the Divine Masculine, the Gate to the Sacred Garden. This is another one of my absolute favorite decks. It was one of the first ones I started with and just caught me right away. I'm going to flip fairly quickly through this because there is some nudity. It is very male forward. Obviously, it's the Tarot of the Divine Masculine. Very beautiful artwork, very beautiful scenes. The backgrounds and the landscapes are just so detailed and so impressive. Just a great, beautiful artwork. High quality deck, high quality cardstock. It's kind of a rose petally satin finish. These are the backs. Very, very beautiful. Just an overall amazing amazing deck. I use it all the time. It's one of my favorites to pull. Just gives me very good readings, very thought-provoking, very I don't even know the words for it. Just great readings overall. I'm so familiar with this deck now. I've even decided getting a backup copy, but it is an indie deck, so it's a little bit more expensive. I just love this deck. This beautiful Page of Swords card, one of my favorites. Every card is just so emotional, so expressive, and in general very masculine, even though there are a few cards that explore the feminine side of being masculine as well. So overall, highly recommended. Again, this is the Tarot of the Divine Masculine. Deck number 20 in my collection is the Fifth Spirit Tarot. I've done a deep dive of this deck on my channel. I fell in love with it as soon as I got it in. This is the mass market edition. This is a very queer and I'll just read this actually in the box. A queer inclusive deck for a world beyond binaries. So very gender neutral, very queer. I like to call this deck a pips with feelings. So even though it's in this card like 8 fireworks, it has that momentum, that energy, that ready to explode feeling of the 8 of Wands. So it's generally pips, but I like to say it's pips with feeling because they really have a scene, even though they are just, in this case, 10 cups or 9 candles. The majors are excellent. They are very diverse and queer and gender fluid. Very, very good deck. I love flipping through this deck and just picking out the small meanings in each cards. There are little hidden symbols in a bunch of the cards that bring out different meanings. Great overall deck, great artist. I follow the artist on Instagram, Charlie Claire Burgess. Great person, and I love following their artwork, and I'm so glad I have this deck in my collection. Deck number 21 in my collection is the New Voice Tarot by Rosario Salerno. This is another indie deck, also on the queer side, which I love. These are large cards, which is perfect for this deck because it is very detailed artwork. It has nice rainbow, shiny silver edging. These are the backs. These are large cards. So I do have this one in order right now. I just kind of put it back as I was resetting things. It's a modern interpretation of the Rider-Waite myth, but it's very detailed, very symbolic. Beautiful cards. On a lot of the cards you find very similar scenes to the Rider-Waite myth, even colors, but it's just kind of a redid modern take on it, which I really, really enjoy. Very cool lovers card, gender diverse. The Temperance card is one of my favorites ever. Beautiful deck. I love this person's like side eye making a drink. I think I have a deep dive on this, or at least a full flip through on my channel, so feel free to watch that if you're interested in seeing the whole thing. I'm trying to keep these in order. Yeah, so very detailed, very modern, very colorful deck. Deck number 22 in my collection is the 1909 RWS Tarot, the Sawyer Redux edition. This is a great deck as well. I think I've shown it off in one of my more popular videos, actually. Again, this one is in order. It's a Rider-Waite myth, so I don't use it super often, but it's a good reference. It's a very interesting deck, obviously borderless, and on every card there is this mandala, and hidden in the background or in the mandala is the number of the card and the astrological association. So I don't know if I can see it too well here, but this is the Lovers, and it's Gemini, I believe, And then if I can see, or like right here, if you can follow the edge of my card, or there's the Roman numeral 6 in the mandala for the number of the card. So it's kind of hidden, so it's nice that it's not like standing out, but if you need the number, it is hidden on here. So like here's the Hermit, it has Virgo and the number 9 in there. Very cool deck, very like redrawn of the Rider-Waite-Smith. It's supposed to be like more clear and easier to read. Some of the details stand out better. But pretty straightforward Rider-Waite-Smith deck, but nice that it's borderless and it has this cool background pattern. So for the minors, it has, I believe that's Mercury, if I'm not mistaken, in Sagittarius, and the number 8 for the 8 wands. And then for the courts, it has, oh, I'm so bad at this. This is the Page of Wands, so is that the Earth of Fire? I think that makes sense. So, and this is the Water of Fire. So very interesting deck, has some astrology symbolism as well as elemental symbolism in the cards. These are the backs. The 23rd deck in my collection is the Slow Tarot by Lacey Bryant. This is the second newest deck in my collection. I just recently got this, I think like a month or two ago. I've been looking at it for a long time, and it just came back in stock, or was reprinted, I should say. So I believe it's still in stock online. I'll try to link it below, but beautiful artwork. This artist made large paintings of each of the cards. I believe it says it took over 6 years to do this deck. There's some little controversial cards, I won't go into that, but there are beautiful, detailed scenes for every card. The meanings are so clear. Most of it follows the standard Rider-Waite-Smith. There are a few that stray a little bit in a different direction than I'm used to, but overall just the feeling in these cards comes through. The art is just so intentional and beautiful, and you can just tell how many hours and years the artist spent making this deck, and it just shows through. I don't know if you noticed, but the majors have a black border, and then each other suit has its own color border, so you can easily tell what element you're working with or what suit you're in, which is a cool thing. And another thing special to this deck, let me see if I can find one, is the aces are actually borderless. So it's kind of like that expanding out into the universe, that potential energy of the suit ready to explode out into your life. So that's a very unique part of this deck. Overall, just very, very detailed, very beautiful, intentional artwork. Deck number 24 in my collection is the Spectrowhirl Tarot. I know I've showed this a few times on my channel and definitely on the on my Instagram page, but overall this is a very rainbow, psychedelic, kind of like pip deck, but like symbolized deck. So very rainbow, very colorful, but still has the great meaning depicted in every card. I always find when I pick this deck up, I feel like more magical or intuitive, or kind of like wanting to do like spells or something. I don't really get into that too much, but this deck just makes me like wave my hands around in the patterns, or however, just makes me really feel magical when I'm interpreting this deck. Very bright and colorful. The 25th deck in my collection is the Eldritch Overload Tarot. This is another one of my favorites. It's very shiny. This deck is cyberpunk fantasy tarot. It's a very different world, but a like potential future world if we're not careful, if technology takes over or something. Very like it says, Cyberpunk Fantasy Tarot. Very, very cool cards. Every card has this shiny, glittery details. It's very digital, very futuristic, and very full of meaning on every card. Easy to interpret. It's based on the Rider-Waite-Smith, so easy to interpret, but has this whole new world that it has created. One of my favorite decks. Again, very colorful, very intentional in its artwork. Sticks closely to the Rider-Waite-Smith meanings, I would say, but in this new world that this artist has created. Really gives me potent readings that I enjoy coming back for over and over and over again. And these are the backs, very holographic as well. The 26th deck in my collection, second to last, we're almost there, guys, is the Anonima Tarot of the Nameless. I know I have a full flip-through video of this on my channel, so if you want more information, check this out. I haven't seen this deck around much on YouTube. I believe I found it on Instagram, but I'm not sure. So I did also just reset this one, so it is in order. Again, it's a very colorful, very intentional, weird world, so it fits in with all my other decks. I love this deck. It's so unique, so different. I don't hear about it very often, but again, it makes me laugh when I look through it. It's so weird, it's so colorful, but it definitely has its own world. So this is the Death card, and it's the card with no name, is how they call it here. Very, very fun deck. And the 27th and final deck in my collection is the newest deck in my collection. I just got it this week, and I have just started my study into the Thoth Tarot deck. So far, it's a little intimidating, so I haven't gone into it too much, but I figured it was time for me to dive into this very occult, very esoteric deck. What I'm learning so far is there is a lot of astrology, Kabbalah, and mysticism mixed into this deck and its history. So I'm looking forward to spending more time with it and learning more and more about it. So I assume you've seen this deck, but I will flip through a couple of the cards. I haven't even shuffled this one yet. This is the classic Thoth Tarot deck, and I just have the basic mass market edition. Oops. Thank you all so much for watching my deck collection video. I hope you enjoyed seeing all of my decks. I certainly enjoyed showing them to you. I just recently went through all of them, getting back into tarot and getting back into TarotTube, so it was nice to reconnect with all my decks and go through them with you. If you have any questions or want to see more of a specific deck, first check the links down in the description below. I might have some walkthroughs there, or if you have more questions, please feel free to comment and let me know if you have any questions about any of the decks, or if you want a more detailed flip through of any of them that I haven't done, I would be happy to do that for you. So this is life. This is what I'm talking about. You manage to be happy for 5 minutes, and then something starts ringing.